Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, Bitcoin, you know what? It went up and down. Was pretty volatile today. But you know what? Bitcoin is still doing quite well. And today, let's look at 5 charts that show why Bitcoin will blast off. Right? Let's talk about it, and let's talk about everything else that's going on in the world of crypto today. Let's do it. Welcome, guys. Man, it was volatile today. Even though we're looking pretty good. 67.1, 67.2. Look at what happened this morning. Look at what happened. While I was streaming this morning, you know, we were around here and then we blasted off 66, 67. We almost hit 68. And then I got off stream and the George effect wore off. And then we started going down, 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 down. And we went all the way down here, 64.7. Like, what the hell happened? There was no good reason. It was really, I think, to just weed out the longs. I think because way too many people put like a 100x long right here and they got wiped out. Went down to 64.7 for no apparent reason. Then we clawed back to where we are and then down. Yep. Up and down, man. Today was volatile. That was a nasty drop right there, right? But overall, we're doing pretty good. 67.1. I do think our next stop is about 68.2. And then we're on our way to $70,000. That's right around the corner. And right after that is all-time high. We can hit, I mean, it's still what, Tuesday? We can hit all-time high before the end of this week. That's certainly possible. We haven't really seen a huge spike up. Yeah, we have seen like small spikes. We haven't seen a huge, gigantic spike. That could be right around the corner. That certainly could be right around the corner, right? Now, I know a lot of people are talking about this. This happened about 4 hours ago. Tesla moved about $760 million to the Bitcoin to several different addresses. And some people are concerned that Tesla may be getting ready to sell. That would be absolutely the stupidest thing Elon would be doing. Like, you know, he just had a monumental thing happen. He caught a big, gigantic SpaceX rocket on chopsticks. Okay, one of the most marvelous things humankind has ever done, right? An engineering feat that none other can replicate. Now, if he compounds that or negates that by selling off his Bitcoin, then I don't know. You know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I think he's just moving around. I think what he needs to do is implement a Bitcoin strategy like Saylor. Had he done that years ago, you know, Tesla would be worth like $30 trillion. Okay, imagine if he followed what Saylor did back in 2020 and he just kept putting all his money in Tesla into Bitcoin, spare money into Bitcoin, right? Man, Tesla would be like a $30 trillion company right now, probably, maybe even higher. But yeah, I don't know what this move is. A lot of people talking about. I don't think he plans on selling. I really don't. But I guess we'll see. Moving on though, Standard Charter says Bitcoin could revisit all-time high before U.S. election. I certainly think so. I think it happened by the end of this week. But you know, they're saying it's probably going to happen before November, and that's certainly possible because we're not that far off from our all-time high. This is what I've been saying. Just last week, people are like so bearish. You see the comments, all these people like saying, you know, all this negative things, like acting like, you know, we're like below 30,000 or something. No, we're 60,000 plus. If you think about it, we haven't really gone up that much, yet the sentiment really changed from last week to this week all of a sudden, right? But you know, all-time high, around the corner. Bull season started, right? And it's looking quite good. So in terms of these 5 charts that show Bitcoin will blast off. What are they? Okay, let's go through it. First chart is open interest, basically all-time high, right? A lot of people have open interest, buy interest, placing their options, futures, order books, basically longs. I mean, they're basically a ton of interest on Bitcoin right now. So that's an indication. Bullish momentum, of course, everywhere, right? You also have, of course, the reserves dropping. We're back to basically 2018 levels. If you think about that, that's quite awesome. And this is the first cycle we're going through, first bull cycle, I should say, we're going through, where the reserves are actually going down. All prior cycles, reserves have been going up. This is the only cycle, the first cycle we're going through, where the reserves are actually going down. Think about that. That's also very, very bullish. Okay. You had the ETFs, the net inflows, okay, into the ETFs, extremely positive, okay, including yesterday, huge, $500 million. Today, also quite big. I'll show you the numbers, right? Of course, that's also very good. You have charts like this showing that, hey, RSI, not quite there to the top of the channel. And when it gets there, Bitcoin will be around $233,000 according to this. That's a signal. We're nowhere near top. And then finally, the 200-day moving average. Whenever Bitcoin is above it, it's pretty darn bullish. We were below it for quite some time. We have flipped above, and that is a very, very positive sign. So these are the 5 charts that show Bitcoin is about to blast off and is very bullish right now, right? ETF inflows also support this. Yesterday, like I said, we had a massive $555 million worth of inflows. That is quite a lot. Compounded with the day prior, you're talking about 800 million. And then you add today, without BlackRock's 82 million. So you're talking about, which is within 3 days, that's like $1 billion. $1 billion worth of Bitcoin being eaten up by the ETFs. That's just the US-based ETFs. What about the Canadian ETFs? Or the Hong Kong ETFs? Or the ETFs everywhere else? The ETPs in Europe, right? That is having an effect. That is taking Bitcoin out of circulation. That's why the reserves keep going down. The minor reserves go down. Exchange reserves go down. Everything's going down. Right? It adds up. It adds up. And, you know, I've been telling you guys, follow the big boys, the big money. You know, while the lettuce hands and retail investors panic and turn bearish, just like last week, the day, you know, just like a few weeks ago when everyone was, you look at the comments and, you know, people saying, oh, it's crashing, it's dumping, we're going to go form a new low, blah, blah, blah. While that was happening, the whales were accumulating. That's what always happens. Whales accumulate while the lettuce hands sell. That's what they have been doing behind the scenes. They have been accumulating. And they are getting ready for Uptober, right? What happened last year in October is basically what's happening now, right? Last October, look at it. The start of October, it actually went down. It went down majorly. And then what happened? We broke through and shot up to the moon, right? Look at that candle. Look at the 23rd, October 23rd of last year. Look at what happened. That is a major, major pump, right? That day. But leading up to it, up to the 16th, it was looking quite bearish, right? Sorry, just like nonstop. People just like nonstop DMing me. But, you know, so up until the 16th, it was actually quite bearish last October. And then what happened from the 16th on? It was Uptober, right? What did I say? The first 14 days of this month. Just because we went down does not mean Uptober is canceled, right? Guess what's happening right now? We're starting to turn around, right? It's looking good. It's looking better. And maybe by the end of this week, we could be at an all-time high. And wait, I'm waiting for that huge candlestick upwards, just like what happened last year, right? Maybe it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. You know, what happened before doesn't mean it's going to happen now. But let's just look at all the facts. Look at all the charts I showed you. Look at the macro conditions. Look at everything, the fundamentals. They're all adding up. And the ETF inflows. They all support this thesis, right? That's why I've always said, stay strong, stay focused, continue to hodl, and DCA. That's really it. Yeah, here's something else that supports this thesis. A bullish crossover. It happened in the prior cycles. It happened in 2016, happened in 2020. Guess what? We just had the bullish cross. So, are we going to repeat? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. If it does, strap on, because it's going to be a wild, wild ride. All right. Outside of Bitcoin, what else is there? Let's talk about a few other things. Let's talk about Avalanche. A lot of people are talking about this game off the grid. Okay, the very first console game. A lot of people are talking about it. It's bringing a ton of attention to crypto. Addresses on Avalanche is blowing up. They have their own subnet. It's free also. At least they have a new one. They have a new free, what is it called? Questing. They have they have a free questing game. Anyways, top free title on the Epic Games. That's amazing. Most people don't even know. Most people don't even know it's a blockchain game, right? But this is what I'm saying. Games can have the potential to bring massive amount of people in. And Jasper, I see in a comment saying, the game is great. I've been playing it for months, right? This is what I'm saying. There are great, great games that are coming into this space. That's what I love to see. They have the potential to bring millions of people into the space. You got to create great product first, then layer in the crypto side to it. Don't force it upon people right away. That's the problem of the past generation, right? Some of the previous games, the 2021 games that are still being developed or have come out and haven't done so well because they kind of shoved the Web3 elements first, and that got very confusing for a lot. Shove the Web 2 portion first, then layer in the Web 3, right? So glad to see it's doing well. But overall, on Avalanche, you got a lot of major players. They're really focused. A lot of people have been asking about Avalanche. How's it go do? They're really focused on games. They're all really all in on games, even though they are concentrating on other things like RWA, real world assets, and other things, obviously, and even memes and so forth. But really, in my opinion, they're really focused on games. A lot of their subnets are games, right? Beam is another one from Mirror Circle as well. They also have games coming out. And Shrapnel is another one. But, Mirror Circle has their Eden Horde. That's also coming out. And, of course, I got to shine some light on DeFi Kingdoms, which is also major. They're kind of old, start out as DeFi, but now they're completely a game. I think they are providing the highest volume on Avalanche. And also they came out with a separate game too. Their PvP Coliseum on Metas too, but they're still around. And I do talk with Dreamer and the team quite often about it. And they are also doing quite well. But overall, you know what? For games, they have the potential to bring in a ton of people into the space. And I love to see more of it. And lastly, Grayscale seeks to convert fund with Solana. XRP and Avalanche into ETF. So they want to convert their digital large cap fund, which includes all three. I wish it just included Solana and Avalanche and not XRP, but it does have XRP in there. But you know what? This will be a first of its kind, like a bucket. People have asked for this, right? Rather than just have one bucket, like just a Bitcoin ETF or Ethereum ETF or XRP ETF, now you have like a bucket full. So you get exposure to multiple crypto. That would be pretty cool. And then takes the guessing game out of it. Then people don't have to guess which one is the best, right? They could really just call it, you know, like a large cap ETF or a small cap ETF, just like how it is now with, you know, with normal ETFs. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. All right, let me scroll up here. Hampton, let's go. All right. Have I heard of smoking chicken fish on Solana? No, I have not. TS ALCX, what do you think about this coin? I've never ever heard of it before. That's not what you wrote. Alchemex, but you wrote Arcanex. Alchemex or Arcanex? I don't know what you're asking. If this is the right one or not. I have heard of this one before, but yeah. It's a DeFi play. Not really my thing. I don't know if that's what you're asking for, T. I don't know if you just misspelled it. The Shamus says, Bonk has an ETP now, as of tonight. How bullish is that? Who created ETP on Bonk? That's what I like to know. Milton says BTC Golden Cross by second week of November. What time frame are you looking at? It already happened at some time frames. Buy Bitcoin or get married for a second time. Some would argue never get married. Some will argue it's better to have loved than never to have loved at all. And some would argue just buy Bitcoin. Spencer, I have no idea what Raven Quest is, so I can't talk about Raven Quest. George, can you let me know about taxes? Where to go to reduce taxes in USA? I could give you generalities, but you need to seek a good accountant then they can tell you how to reduce your taxes. But you need to start a company, either LLC or S Corp or C Corp, and you need to take deductions. You need to take a lot of deductions. Yeah, travel, you know, business related stuff. Joel Lamas, what do you feel about Star Atlas? Well, I met Michael Wagner a couple times. He seems very dedicated to the game. He's traveling a lot. I know that. He's not resting until it's complete, he says. The game looks okay. I played a little bit, and they have tournaments now. They seem to generate a good amount of revenue. So they can sustain themselves. They don't need to sell their token to operate. So those are all very big pluses. ChemX is a lending protocol that allows you to borrow funds without liquidating collateral. It operates like on the Ethereum blockchain. Utilize market. You just copy that from their front page. Yes, that's what it says. Thank you for the super chat. When do you see this bull run peak next year? I feel like the same questions get asked every single day, over and 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 over again. And I cover that too. It's going to be over next year, around 200 to 300,000. Yes, that's the prediction. I can't even scale out that far out. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to. It's way too high. But we are breaking out from this giant cup and handle and this bullish flag right here. So that is definitely very positive. That's what we want to see. Have you thought about test driving worthy modified cars for review? I wish I had time for that. I just don't have time. Between these streams and traveling now for the IFC, I really don't have time. If I had more time on my hands, I would actually just drive my car around and maybe, went around track some more and stuff. Now, unfortunately, it's kind of like too cold, but maybe. Will you throw a party at the end of this bull run? Will you make a GeorgeCon a reality? I've been talking about it for so long. Yes, I definitely want to do that. I just don't know when and where, but I definitely do want to do that. Probably have it in, I don't know, probably Vegas. I'll probably like co-sponsor a huge, rent out like a huge stadium, co-sponsor it with, or co-host it with Crowded Combat or something, so I don't have to pay for it all. And then we can have a huge fight there and have a big party at some like big arena or something. I think that would be pretty cool. When you hit your goal net worth, what will you do? 2 girls at once. I don't know. I'd probably not do these daily streams anymore, and do less of it. Ricky Romero, 90K portfolio. I'm holding BCE, Sol, Arrow, near Metis. How high you think I could go? That's a pretty good makeup. I mean, I like that. I like that a lot, except Arrow. I don't really like Arrow, but outside of that, I think that's a pretty good combination. I mean, that could do really well. That could be like a 500,000, easily, I think. 90K to a 500,000. I think that could happen. Why don't I like Arrow? Because it's not needed. Anything that on base is just on Uniswap. There's actually 0 reasons for Arrow. You don't need Arrow. Everything could be done on Uniswap. Man, I can't wait until we hit 70K again. It's been too long. Too long. We need to hit 70K again. I think we have a really good shot at breaking all-time high before the end of the week. If we keep going the way we are, again, you know, we got a lot of things going. We got great fundamentals. We're in Uptober. We got elections coming up. Liquidity injection. We're seeing liquidity go up. You know, something set us off like 2 days ago. I don't know where the money came in from, and I don't know where the money's coming from still, but there are a lot of money flowing in right now. And it's setting us off. And if we continue to do this, where we're jumping a few thousand every single day, and it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of money to move Bitcoin like this. And if we keep doing this, we're not that far off. We're only 6,000. We're less than 10% away from forming a new high, guys. Think about that. That's not that far off. All right, guys. Stop asking me for price predictions. You know, from now on, I'm not going to answer any questions that relate to price predictions. I'm just sick of it. If I voluntarily give price prediction, that's one thing. But if you ask me a question like Illuvium, maybe 2K this cycle, I don't know. I'm just going to say it's higher. That's it. If you ask me for a price prediction, my answer is it's going to be higher than where it is now, compared to where it is now. Basically, there is nothing that will be lower next year compared to this year, unless it's a rug. There is no project, unless it's a rug, that will be a lower price next year versus this year. Here's a price prediction. So whoever charted this says by the time we hit the top, the RSI hits the top of this channel, Bitcoin will be at $233,000. So if that happens, you do the math. That's what, 4x for Bitcoin. If 4x for Bitcoin, Sol will do at least a 10x, and anything below Sol will probably do a 15 to 20x. That's probably what's going to happen. Bill says, when will we be on mainstream TV on a highly watched financial show? Hopefully never. Hopefully I don't need to be in that position. But you know what? Maybe as a guest. I've been asked on Yahoo Finance a couple times. They have asked me again, but I usually turn them down because they always ask me last minute, and I don't like to do that. Mike says, after weeks, I finally get to catch the beginning of the show, and then my baby mama freaking calls. You don't have to answer, man. You don't have to answer. Jay, I do not own a Cybertruck. And we just need a little more push. Just a little bit more push to 70K. Just a little bit more. But that was wild this morning. You know, I can't even comprehend the amount of money required to do a pullback like this, and then the amount of money required to push back like this. I mean, that had to be insane amount of money. I don't even know who has the amount to do this. That's just insane. I don't know. I have no idea, but that's a lot of money, I'll say. But tomorrow will be interesting. Today, actually, all the crypto-related stocks went down. Tech, in general, dumped today. And while that was happening, Bitcoin kept going up. It was like the money flew into Bitcoin from the tech sector. That's what we've been waiting for, right? Like last week or 2 weeks ago, you know how I was complaining like tech kept going up and Bitcoin didn't go up? Now, today was the first day where it seemed like the opposite happened. Like they were selling off tech and it went into Bitcoin. So if it keeps continuing, that would be very, very good. Very good. That's what we want. What would you do if BTC gap to 81K? That's just not reality. That would not happen. That will not happen. BlackRock bought 291 million. That's crazy. That's crazy. If that, man, that just shows you. Larry Fink is buying up everything. Everything. Turbo Toad. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. Enjoy your night. Tomorrow is another day. I'm looking forward to tomorrow breaking past 68 and possibly hitting 69. We'll see. 69 out of the 500 or even breaking into 70s. Let's see if we get that spike. Like what we saw this morning. If we see that tomorrow and we hit 69, 70K tomorrow, that will be absolutely fantastic. All right. So have a good night, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time as usual, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good night. Take care.